let's frame those energy systems first. So we have 3 energy systems, very important up front. They all always run at the same time. So the human body is not a linear system. It's very complex, and it's not if you do one exercise and then you switch to the other exercise, or let's say you do strength training and you do marathon running. It's not that you only use the one energy system and here's a clear line when it switches to the next one. So they all run at the same time. You and me sitting here, all 3 energy systems run at the same time. The only difference is, depending on what we do and its intensity and its duration, that one energy system is going to be more dominant than the other 2. That is what is happening, but everything is running at the same time. Anyway, so 3 energy systems. Number 1, we call it the lactic system, where you use ATP, which is called adenosine triphosphate. Very likely you pronounce it a little different in English. Yep. And creatine phosphate. That energy system, or those energy sources, ATP and creatine phosphate CP, are immediately available. And to give an idea of where you use them, it would be typically a 100-meter sprint. So that energy system kind of lasts 10 seconds and less.
This is when lactic acid's kicking in, essentially.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So that would be the next energy system.
Okay,
but you got a 100-meter sprint, you go all out, high intensity. After that 100-meter, you might be able to continue running, but not with the same intensity. Or let's say we talk about strength training. I tell you to do a 1 repetition max deadlift. There is no second rep. Not because you're tired. It's not that you lie on the ground and you can't move anymore and your heart will beat after very high, but it's because your ATP is gone and just there for 3-4 seconds, okay, for that 1 rep. So we can train those energy systems by doing exactly this. I like that kind of training, but it's very boring for everyone else. Let me explain you why. A rule of thumb, or if you talk about track and field athletes, let's say they want to work on the 100-meter time and they sprint. They're going to sprint 100 meter with a max effort. Let's say they imagine those are the Olympic Games, right? I need to win, all out. For every 10 meters you sprint, you rest 1 minute. That's a rule of thumb. That means if we go to the track and we sprint all out, we rest at least for 10 minutes, at least, to do it again. Because what we're training right now would be alactic power. So we want to have, in a short amount of time, the highest output. So we need to rest. We need to fully recover. If you don't do this, you could do, let's say, intervals. Let's say we run 50 meters, 75 meters, and I don't let you fully recover, but it's still a very high intensity. There would be alactic capacity. So I train you to work for a longer duration of time on a very high intensity level. Yeah. But again, there's a very, very fine border, because very quickly we move on to the next energy system, which would be the lactic energy system, or also called glycolytic energy system, where we use dominantly the sugar stored in our muscles, so glycogen.